There was a need to have the Hebrew scriptures translated to Greek. That having been done was called the Septuagint. According to an Eastern Orthodox scholar, after the Septuagint was translated in Greek from Hebrew and Aramaic, the country of Israel declared a period of mourning because the Greek translation was done so badly. The canonized Western Bible was influenced from this controversial translation.
They did view the Greek translation of the Torah as being a tragedy. If you believe it to be a divine text and that every word has significance, then, and you also assume, as even the rabbis did in the ancient time, that any translation is by definition an interpretation. Then by translating the text, you are, in a sense, offering a particular interpretation of that text.
The Septuagint was translated by the Jewish community in Egypt, where a great many of them were speaking Greek in Alexandria rather than their native Aramaic, and they wanted to be able to read their scriptures and discuss their scriptures in Greek.
The Christians were more Greek-speaking gradually, and so the Greek translation of the Old Testament became the Christian book, and the Jews preferred to retain the Hebrew text.
So that in a certain sense, the Jews and Christians divided between the two of them, one using the Hebrew text, the other using the Greek text. For example, the best proof text for the virgin birth of Jesus in the Old Testament uses the Greek word virgin, translating a Hebrew word which means maiden.
The Septuagint seems to translate that term into a Greek word that seems to imply virgin, which Christians then use as a prophetic source for the virgin birth.
This raises the question of 2 Timothy 3:16, which states that all Scripture is divinely derived.
Yeah, that's constantly invoked by people that say the Bible claims to be inspired. What a hoax this is. I mean, whoever wrote this, one of the so-called Pauline writers, the pastoral author, they call him often, he's certainly referring to what was considered scripture by Jews and Christians at the time, whatever that was.
Not everyone agreed what constituted the Old Testament. They were still having debates at that time as to what stories should be a part of the Bible.
So we don't quite know which books he had in mind, but it's more or less the Septuagint. It seems to me darn near impossible to imagine this author is thinking of the New Testament books.
This is what Bible literalists claim is their authority, to assert and to believe that all Scripture is literally so, divinely so.
The Gospels were not written when Paul made that assertion. So what scriptures could he possibly be talking about?
The only scriptures that he could possibly be referring to are the Hebrew Scriptures.
Besides Paul's writings, the New Testament had not even been written. So how could all Scripture really have been divinely inspired?
My question to these people is this: who defines what in Scripture is allegory and what is fact? Who makes that decision? Is the Exodus story, is that allegory? Is the Genesis story in the Garden of Eden, is that allegory or is that a fact? And who makes these decisions? Was Jesus allegory? I mean, there's a lot of scholars that believe this man never existed. Is that allegory or is that a fact? Who makes that decision? Well, in the Roman Catholic Church, it boils down to the Pope. He's got the last say on this. But there's 220 some Christian religions because they disagree on points like this.